I like amethyst. Yeah.
Don't just let them sit there,
No,
but feel them, use them. You know.
Yeah.
And wash them and treat them, you know, like you treat your baby. Like,
that's a good reminder. I haven't been paying much attention to them. Yeah. Or put them in sunlight.
Huh?
Put them in sunlight. I think they also absorb the sun energy.
Yeah, but you have to be careful because those advices that you can read in books, they do not always work, and you need to know what kind of crystal you know, will be because they are all different in character.
Yeah.
So, and some books say you put them in salt to clean them.
Oh, really?
No, I have experienced those things, and they do not really work all the time. So, my best advice is to just wash them with some, you know, mild soap or just running water, running water also, and then you also do put intentions into them, right intentions. You can also, when you do energy work, which is also a way of healing and how healing occurs, you need to, you know, draw the white light through your crown chakra and out in your body, in all your limbs, and then you can work with your hands. So you are pure.
And this is something you can do to yourself. This is something you can do to yourself. Sorry, like
you can do that to yourself.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Everything you can do yourself. Everything.
Yes. Because sorry, go on. Yeah.
So healing occurs is. You don't have to go to a guru. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay a lot of money for it. But just, you know, embrace yourself. And you know, there's Reiki. You can use it on your body.
Yes.
It does help.
Yeah. There is power in energetic work, but I think some of the healers and people that are doing energy work kind of disempower people that want to, because I have the experience. Like, I had been to a Reiki practitioner, I think she was, but I mean, they do definitely sense the energy and they understand the spiritual realm, but I feel like it's a very vast place to be, and it's very easily you can get tricked, and you can get, you know, you have to be careful as well with who you're letting into your energy field. It can be yeah. So, but I think
that's very good point you are making there. I did a course. I was attending a course many years ago, and we were going to train how to heal, right?
Oh, I see, yeah.
But the teacher there, she wasn't aware of all the energies. So there was this guy who was, and I was like a guinea pig, you know. I said, okay, you can tell me. I thought I could shield myself, but I wasn't all that good in those days to hold the space.
Yes.
So I got so much bad energy. I was a mess, a real mess. I cried and cried and cried all day long, all night long, and my partner was really worried about me. So we contacted this lady because she was living in California at that time, and she sent some stuff, and she apologized because it was her responsibility and so on. But yes, it's really dangerous if you don't know the person.
Yes.
And even sometimes when you do know the person. So self-healing is, in my view, the best and most secure way of healing, really.
Yes, because you
unless of course you have like people who pray for you, and they can do that on a distance. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, prayers do work. But I feel like with healing, no matter who's healing you, even if you're healing yourself, you need to have the space of like processing what's happening, because you can't just walk away from, you know, you might feel better, or like even the ayahuasca, you know, I mean, you do feel better after even just one ceremony. I mean, like after experiencing all that, like the next morning, you remember, we felt like, I mean, in most cases, we did feel kind of, I mean, some sort, yeah, not always, but you do feel like, I mean, it's such a contrast. You feel better than the actual ceremony itself, because sometimes you get intense experiences, but it's like life, you know, if you don't take the time to process what's happening, then it's, yeah, you kind of, it becomes really like foggy and like, you know, not really beneficial. So you have to gather your experiences and make meaning out of them, I think.
Yeah. That's very true. And again, some healing will never occur because it is part of your lesson. You know, some healing will never occur, no matter how much you pray, no matter how much, whatever you do, because it's a part of your own progress. Or sometimes even it's part of somebody close to that person's process.
Exactly.
We don't know that.
Yes.
We just need to put our trust in the fact that we are in the best place where we can be. For ourselves. But for that to happen in a good way, we need trust, and we need a little bit of knowledge how the spiritual world works as together with the physical world. But it's all connected, you know, it's all the same. There's no separation really, but we are creating the world around us. You know, so because like I will see my apartment in my way, but someone who comes in to visit me will experience my apartment from there.
Yes.
You know, totally different.
Yeah.
So and it's the same thing with we don't know exactly why we are sick sometimes, or and why we can't get better or whatever. And I suppose, you know, you can heal a lot of things if you are willing to make the sacrifices also.
Yes.
Yeah, because like for instance, well, maybe we shouldn't talk about other people, but one person was with us at the retreat.
Oh, yes.
This autoimmune illness that he was cured from.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So he wouldn't have been able to do that if he didn't want to make the sacrifice of feeling really, really bad taking that medicine, for instance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Sometimes you have to do something really difficult, and you pay your dues, sort of.
Yes, yeah. It's kind of like when, that's true. I think one of the facilitators was talking about, you know, like, for example, Kate's going, one of the other people on our retreat is going on an 8-week retreat, so it's not like you decide to go and, you know, I mean, on some level you do decide to go, but then like the plants also know that you're coming, so it's like a relationship kind of. So you're like, you know, you're committed and you know you're doing this, and the plants also know you're doing this, so you're both kind of joined together in that healing. So it's not. But if, for example, you know, someone went on the retreat and didn't consciously think about what they were doing or didn't understand and just kind of went for fun, obviously they're not going to get the same experience as someone that wants to be healed. So it's definitely about the relationship between things and people, I think.
And trust.
And trust, you need to have faith and trust, definitely.
You have to have trust in healing, otherwise it won't occur. No. You can take medicine, like medicine from like classical
pharmaceuticals, whatever.
But it won't work here because you don't believe it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Take a sugar pill. You can take, the placebo.
And
exactly. Trust in it. it will cure you, you know.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, so it's so healing will occur in all kinds of ways, like thought, you know, from your thoughts and trust, and
Yeah. Thoughts are very powerful.
Yes, indeed they are. Amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's really amazing.
That strikes me so often, you know.
Yeah.
It's and just that thought that how amazing everything is that in itself is hilarious, you know. It's like, wow. Yeah. You know, that puts you in a really good spot when you think about it. So yeah, what else? I don't know what else to say about how healing occurs, to be honest.
No, I think that's good because it is very like multi-layered, like you said. It's not just, you know, one thing. Yeah, it's many things.
Yeah, many things. It's all connected, so you know everything tends to you know, the answers even, they tend to go into each other.
Yeah.
Because doing ayahuasca is one form of healing also.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It is. She's a
very deep
plant.
Deep healing.
Huh? Yeah.
Very deep healing, since it takes you to your deepest subconscious, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Smack in the face.
Yeah. Actually, the first time I took ayahuasca was I had lost hair, you know, losing hair much for decades. And the first time I took ayahuasca, I was so stress-free, so I stopped losing hair.
After or before? Before or after taking ayahuasca?
After.
Oh, wow.
After, the first time.
Yes.
I took I was so, you know, I felt it. I had, wow, you know, there was no stress. It was such a, like, I couldn't believe it, you know. Wow. And after a while, I noticed, oh, wow, when I was taking a shower, you know, I didn't get all the hair in my hand.
Oh.
It was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I think she works on the physical level as well, like our actual body. So.
Yeah, because it's all connected.
Yeah, it is. It's all
body, mind.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that I gained from her is like just having that stronger connection to myself, and then understanding through experience how everything is, even within and without, is all connected. Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite amazing. So. Yeah, that's. I think that is.
That's a lot. Yeah, pretty much. Did you want to talk about anything else, or
about the healing? No, not really. I do believe that. I think we will be able to heal ourselves completely once we understand how everything is connected and so on. But for myself, I don't think I have that kind of wisdom yet.
I think you have a lot of wisdom though.
Yeah, but you know, there's a long way to go. You know, it's a long way to go.
Yeah. But I mean, we're all learning. That's the main thing. We're all learning here because there's so much to gather from what's happening on Earth right now and how people are helping. And I think it's even though it is kind of the dark ages, it's also a beautiful time to be here.
Exactly.
Yeah, we should be lucky. We should be really lucky to be here, actually.
Yes, and like someone, I think maybe it was, some of the facilitators there who said, we are living like gods.
Yeah, it's true.
From the West, you know. So we have all the realms of the, like the different stages, like the Buddhist teachings, you know. from the hell realms up to the God realms.
Yes.
On spectra is here already, and sometimes one forgets it. And I think those things are really important to think about and dwell on much more.
Yes.
You know how lucky we are, and to try to make the most of it. But again, do not lose your own healing, your own, like you need to put a lot of energy into yourself as well.
Yeah.
And first.
And meditation helps with that, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I got knocked around a little bit from nature as well, telling me that I need to meditate. Like, it's something that,
Oh yeah, and there is actually one more thing how healing occurs, and that is through meditation, really. And meditation, you can all, like, and I'm talking about not visualizing anything whilst meditating, but pinpointed meditation. Pinpointed meditation is when you have focus on one thing, like your breath.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about this, yes.
That is pinpointed meditation. And that is the meditation that any other kind of visualization or other, guided meditations, whatever, are based on. So if you don't have pinpointed meditation, you don't have any kind of meditation, really.
Yeah, it's essentially focusing on one thing, right? So that your mind doesn't spin around too much.
Yeah, because you don't even know when your mind wanders. But by pinpointed meditation, that is what you practice.
Yes.
And that is the only, that is actually the only meditation you need.
Yeah, it's like mindfulness, actually. They do the same thing. Like, they tell you to focus on, I mean, I had done a mindfulness meditation or like open-eyed meditation. So they tell you to like pay attention to your fingers, just pay attention to one thing. And like, for example, it's kind of like that. So you just you keep your focus. There are so many, But I mean, with meditation, you have to really, I mean, yes, you have to be dedicated and have the time to do it, but also you kind of have to, like, I keep saying this, but you create a relationship with meditation as well and do it how you feel is the right way to do it. Because I've been through, like, I've done a few meditations, and pinpoint meditation is a good one, like just focusing on one thing, like the breath. But even just having the time just to clear the space from your mind chatter, like 10, 15 minutes. I mean, I know it's not that much, but it's still better than not doing anything. Yeah, right. It's really essential. And if you can do it twice a day, I think that's really good.
Yeah.
But
and again, everyone is on a different level. So whatever gets you there is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's all in progress. So I'm just pointing out the pinpoint meditation from my point of view, because there are some people, Westerners, who think they can meditate and who think they can teach meditation and so on, and they developed all these different meditation ways of meditating. They call it, fancy names and all that.
The guided meditations, Are you talking about them?
Yeah. So it's just that I really would love for people to get the real meditation that would actually take them someplace,
Yeah, of course.
Instead of getting all these emotions and all that. No, meditating is boring, and it's but it's like taking medicine.
Yeah.
It's like taking medicine. So that is why I say through this kind of meditation, there will also occur some sort of healing, And even the Dalai Lama, when he had cancer, he had a cancer in his stomach.
Oh yeah.
And and he was instead of lying down in the hospital bed, he was sitting up and meditating until it was gone.
Wow, yeah, I remember you mentioning this. That's really
but all these things, everything has a price. And that is something I feel people are not always prepared to pay,
Oh.
So they rather be sick, they rather be, whatever, instead of, taking that bad medicine that tastes so bad.
But I mean, because again, our society, the culture we live in, it's a trauma culture. It's like it's inverted, and we're so used to taking things from Earth. We're not even conscious about it. We just take so much. We forget, like we're unconscious about where it's coming from, and we don't even acknowledge it, or we don't even give back to it. Like it's so it's so disconnected, and people get consumed by that sort of thinking, and they lose themselves a little bit. I mean, I've been there. I used to be like,
True. And also, you have in Australia, you have your indigenous people there with all knowledge, which is amazing.
Yeah,
and they are sitting on some truth there.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lady called Valerie Barron, she's one of my friends as well that I sometimes visit, and she has an amazing story about like the Alcaringa story, which is like she had received from a rock as well, and she had communicated with it, and it's like an indigenous story about the land of Australia, and I think she has some permission, or she has permission from the ancestors of this land to tell the story. So she's quite amazing. But they do have, I mean, it's also important to acknowledge, ancestors that are within your land and field. So I mean, I guess because you're in Sweden, so I'm not sure. I guess the Viking energy, or I'm not really sure actually. Sorry.
Well, that was a long time ago, and pretty dark. I'm not sure about that, but I do.
Okay.
I would rather say the Samic people up north.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm not
Samic
sure about that.
They have shamans and such also.
Okay.
And they have, they do the drum journeys.
Oh wow.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Are they still there in Sweden? Do they?
Oh yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And these days they do have their own language. They have their own kind of small governmental thing. I don't know what it's called.
Oh, okay.
But they do decide their own. With the community.
So they're separate from society. They don't integrate within society.
Well, they were kind of hunted down before and were forced to integrate with the Swedes, and they were not allowed to speak their own language. And kids were taken to boarding schools to be indoctrinated and so on. But today it's different. So today they have their own schools with their own language. They even have a channel on TV with their language.
Okay.
Like for the news, news channel on Samic language.
That's interesting. I've never heard of them.
Pardon?
No, sorry. I've never heard of Samic people. I've never heard of
Samis,
Samis,
they have been nomadic.
I mean, most of the tradition.
I don't remember how the history went, where they came from, etc. But but they've been here for a long time. Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's for sure. And they have their own religion and so on. It's more earthy related.
Yes, I think most of the traditional cultures have that strong connection to the earth. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I did have one question about extraterrestrials. Because you did mention you had an experience. What do you think? What's your opinion about that?
Well, I can. I mean, this is for a lot of people, it may sound really strange and so on, but I was a very strange child. But the thing is, when I was grown up and living here in Sweden, I went to this course about alternative ways, progress, personal growth, they called it.
Oh, I see.
But it was an American woman, Michelle Phillips, who had developed abilities to help people to get rid of trauma, but from many things. But one of those things were the connection with aliens, abductions, and stuff like that. So she had us in a very secure environment, and she painted up a secure picture, like this was like a guided meditation almost, but instead of her guiding us into what to see or what to experience, we did that ourselves, right?
Wow.
So we had, pardon?
No, I said wow. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
So that was the first time because we needed to see what happened, and when, and those whens were of course different for everyone, and then to let go of it, to dissolve it, and so on. So it was also kind of a healing course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the first time I realized that I had been abducted when I was about just a few months old.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and because like in the picture that I saw, I was taken up to what we should call a spaceship or something.
Okay.
Yeah, like a UFO, right? And they put me there on a big table, like it was of metal, and it was quite cold. And they did some experiences on my heart with the rhythm of my heart. I have no idea what the purpose was or so, but it was experimenting, and they shoved down something down my throat, which I have no idea also what it was. But the thing is that after this incident, or at this time, and of course I had no idea because my mother died very young at age, and we were orphans very early, so we didn't have any records of what happened, so I couldn't really find out my medical records, etc. But at this age, this is something I knew. They found out that I had a heart failure, like with the rhythm, with the electricity in my heart, and it was so severe. So I was in and out in hospitals all the time.
Yes. Wow.
And another thing was, at this time I didn't take the breast any longer, and I didn't want anything in my mouth.
Oh.
So I had vitamin deficiencies, very severe, and then I told this to my sister about abduction, and then she said, "Well, what did the pram you were sleeping in? What did it look like?" Because she thought if I saw it like on a screen, what happened to me, I should have seen what the pram looked like.
Okay.
So, and then she believed, and I also said, and yes, and there was this dog beside the pram that was watching me, and the dog fell asleep.
Wow.
So and she said, yeah, but that was mother's dog, and that dog was always watching you, so no one could get near you. So she verified that something happened during that time. And then she also said that sometimes I would just stand in the street and point.
Oh.
And I talked to Rauni Lukanen, maybe she was, Rauni Lukanen. She was a doctor working with NASA.
Oh, wow.
And she had all these amazing stories. And she has been, giving lectures and symposiums all over the world. And I met her and I spoke with her about these things, and she said, yes, it is true. You have had this experience, and they will follow you. Mm-hmm. So during my life, and I have, but the thing is, what they do is they will show themselves to you, but as soon as they know, I'm not sure how it works, but they blank your mind. Yes. They blank your mind. So when someone else is asking, what is it? I won't be able to say what it is.
Yeah. Or they come. Okay. Yeah. Or there's screen memories that happen. Have you heard about that? They might implant a different memory.
Yeah, they do all kinds of things. In my case, I think they tampered with my DNA and so on. But this doctor, who was working with NASA for all her life, actually, she said, but it's not only you. They will follow your kids as well. And so my kids have also had weird experiences. And my daughter actually saw them by my bedside out in the summer house.
And what did they look like?
They were, she said they were, I haven't seen them. I mean, I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't see which ones they were. But she said that they were quite small and the typical gray.
Yeah, okay.
Skinny, slim, quite small. They didn't look very fierce, she said. She didn't get that feeling, but they were watching me. And she was, screaming out and putting on the light and said, "Wake up! Wake up! There's these people there, and then she described them. And and there was also a UFO in the valley, like at the summer house.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see it, but my neighbors did.
Mm-hmm.
So they were actually hovering around that place and went down to fuel for water. Yeah.
Okay. So your neighbors saw that?
At least that's what we think, because they did leave the marks and all that.
Oh.
And my neighbors, they didn't believe any of this, So, but they became believers after they saw the evidence.
Okay, that's interesting.
So there is this connection, and I am not sure if I think they might be still here. They're still watching, but I'm not sure about it. But I have no fear about it. I have. I just said, well, whatever is, it will be, and they did follow or make their presence known when was that? In the 90s, there was a huge thing going on TV. People were talking about the UFOs a lot. And at that time, my lights were blinking and my stereo was getting on and making noise and all kinds of stuff.
That's usually a sign, yeah. Because they...
And I also had some almost schizophrenic voices, or sounds, and so, to the point where I was getting so tired of it. So I called the military to get the Morse code,
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said, I need to know what the hell is going on, and maybe if these are signals of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I did get one one message from like outer space. This Uyahuyi, I don't know if it's pronounced right, but was trying to contact me, and I have no idea what that was about. But pardon?
What did you say? Uyahuyi? Hui?
Yeah, Uyahuyi. So O-U-A H-O-Y. Uyahuyi. Yeah, Y. Really weird. I'm not sure if I got it right, but I tried it. I tried it from the Moscow that the military did send to me.
Oh, wow.
And they said, well, please come back if you find out what it was. You know, like they were quite interested actually.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I thought they were gonna laugh at me or you know ridicule me, but not at all. Not at all. No, so I've had a lot of like I've had sightings also, and but the thing is I don't make anything out of it, because then I would probably ruin my life, you know, if I start pursuing what is this, etc. It's I got information and I got some verification, and I will let it be. I've always thought there were aliens ever since I was a little kid.
Yeah, right.
So I even drew up, you know, future cities when I was drawing. Maybe I was like 10, 11 or so.
That's interesting.
I suppose, you know, there was something from the subconscious mind, something that happened.
Yeah, I think
and which made me very open and accepting of any alien work, you know. So to me, it became more natural than scary, really. Well, I know a lot of people, they have had scary experiences, but since I was so young and probably lived with it all my life, it became more natural, maybe. I don't know.
So you didn't have much fear about extraterrestrials or abduction experiences? Okay.
No. I have more fear of extraterrestrials, aliens, than I have of a bull or, you know, a rhinoceros or a snake or...
Okay, well, that's good, yeah. Because I think there is a lot of fear about this topic, and because it is quite confusing as well.
It's confusing, and there's so many stories that also actually contradict each other.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, some people have been abducted and been experienced in a really bad way.
I have heard stories. Yeah.
And then, of course, that is really scary, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I was too young, I think, to get that fear. You know, when you're 3 months old or 4 months old, I think I was 3 months old, no more. Then you tend to forget, you know, whatever happened to you.
Of course, but the trauma would still be there. I mean,
trauma, and the mouth thing is the worst part. I still have problems with my throat, and so yeah. But since I don't know what they did, if it was for the better or for the worst, you know, I can't decide. I don't know what they did.
Yeah.
And for what reason. So I can't say it's good or it's bad. I know also I do have the ability to heal. I spoke with Simon about it, and he thought, it was really interesting. And my kids have the same ability.
Oh, wow.
So actually some doctor wanted to do research on my eldest son's skin for this. He thought it was crazy.
So heal physical ailments, or
we have an ability to heal really fast.
Oh, like self-heal, your own. Oh, yeah, okay. Like
or whatever. Like our DNA is really weird.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And the ayahuasca actually asked me to change my DNA. But when she did, because I knew there was something going on with it, I said no, not at this point. I didn't want her to change it. And I think she changed everyone else's DNA, but mine. And it will come out in the research.
I see. Okay, yeah, because they had done genetic. Yeah, sorry, go on.
So I'm really excited about that. To see if it is as if I suspected. I suspect that everyone's DNA has changed, but mine, because I said no.
Wow. Okay, but like in what? Yeah. So
the other people. I don't know if you were aware of it. No. You didn't have that.
Well, not consciously. I wasn't aware that she was doing that. No. Right. So many other people did.
Yeah, so I think most people were not conscious about it, but some were, and I said no, not this time. I said she almost did it, and I said, oh, not now,
wow,
my God, I was so glad that I could, that I was able to say no.
Yeah.
But. I made some drawings, and I think ayahuasca is also connected with aliens.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I think that the curanderos and they explain the spiritual realm in a different way, but I do believe that they have that knowledge of like aliens or extraterrestrials, and it's essentially other beings that live there, right, in that realm. And they sometimes manifest in our physical reality, because they're traveling from somewhere or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, so that's rather interesting as well, the connection there.
Yeah, I wonder how they explain. It's just so interesting.
Yeah, it's and I'm not an expert on anything, but it does interest me a lot, and I contemplate on it all the time. Because I'm a critic as well. I'm very open-minded and so on, but I'm also a critic, so I will always see if there are any kind of explanations, natural explanations to things. So I will always put things to the test, and I think it's a good way to go about things, especially when it comes to things that you can't explain by science and so on.
Yeah, definitely.
So that is my connection with aliens for my whole life, I would say. Even though it doesn't take much part in my life, as I see it, maybe it does, without me being aware of it. But I think I was very impressed by this Dr. Rauni Kilde. She had a lot of experience, and she knew exactly what she was talking about. So I do trust her. Of course, and she said, it's fine as long as you don't feel fear and are over dramatic about it, and if you can cope with it, just let it be.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things to remove the drama away as well, like ordinarily in our lives, but also with the alien experiences, I guess, because there is a lot of dramatization going on, especially if you watch any sci-fi stuff. I don't really do, but I mean, there's a lot of drama going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of drama. But again, it has also to do with our thought patterns and what we can think and manifest through thoughts. You know?
Yes. And it's important not to disempower ourselves and be in that place of victimhood. Yeah, because we're not victims. We're like experiences, I guess. Yeah, we just need to travel through whatever we need to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I've been through that, and I haven't let that be a problem in my life. Not at all. I probably transformed that as well.
Well, that's really brave of you. Yeah, you're a very brave woman.
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from, but yeah, I have no idea. But I take things head on, sort of.
That's really something
I look the demons in the eyes, you know, and they disappear.
Yeah, it's very, very brave of you, and something that I noticed, when I had met you, and I was next to you in the ceremony.
Oh, that's so.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, you definitely have bravery.
That was, man. Wow. But you know, it's funny because when you think back on it and how terrible that was, and the vomiting that I had to go through, you know, the purging. Oh man! But it's funny because because we had the 3 first sessions were extra strong, right?
Yes.
And the 4th, which I did, was not.
Oh yeah.
And I found that a little bit boring.
Really? The 4th one for me was quite.
I just realized. I just realized, you know, maybe it was a good thing, you know, to go through all the physical drama. Yeah,
I mean, we have to go through it to know what we don't need, right? I mean, how else will we know?
Yeah, so that was quite funny, actually. Yeah, but yeah, that was nasty stuff. But also like how you go into things either with fear or with no fear, how it changes your experiences, you know.
Yes.
That's a biggie.
You mean the emotional aspect, the attachment?
In any aspect. No, with ayahuasca or with the aliens or with, you know, whatever. If you meet things with fear, you get such a bad experience. It's so hard. But if you meet it with without fear, rather with curiosity or whatever, then it's a total different experience, and it seems like you learn a lot more by embracing it. Like I spoke about other things before.
Yeah, definitely.
You embrace it.
As part
but
of
course, of course, I couldn't do any more ayahuasca. I didn't embrace that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah. On the 4th ceremony, right? Yeah. Or 5th, was it? Yeah.
I did 4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then you didn't do the other 2. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So I just figured I had enough.
Yeah, I think you had the good amount of.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what you need. Yeah.
Pardon?
You always know what you need, you know.
Yeah, I was quite focused on that, and I got exactly what I needed. So I was really psyched about it, you know. I was very happy about it. Very happy.
Yeah, because you got what you wanted. I mean, I think everyone pretty much got what they wanted. I hope.
Not really.
Oh.
Not all.
Okay. Yeah.
There's those who were too scared to dive in.
I mean, that could have been me as well. I think it is quite scary to look at yourself that way. Yeah.
So but I suppose they can do it again. So yeah. No, so that was that. So that was the alien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Huh?
That's interesting. I feel like I've been abducted probably as well, but I have no conscious memory. But I have this feeling that, I'll probably have some kind of energetic implants or even physical implants as well. Like how you were saying with your throat and...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I remember in one ceremony, I had asked Brian, one of the facilitators, to remove an implant in the back of my neck. I was telling him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, can you just get rid of this for me? And
I think I noticed something like that, but I wasn't sure what it was,
Oh, I see.
Since I was beside you.
Yeah, there was one ceremony where he was sitting next to us. Do you remember? I don't know if you were aware. And I was in a bad place, but I was asking him also for healing and to remove an implant in the back of my neck, I guess. And I think he was successful. I think, he managed to take it out, but I'm not sure what it was about.
Oh, okay. So that was that the same time when he put the stones there?
Yeah, the same time. Yeah.
So this is really interesting because if I have the connection with aliens, because he put the stone beside me too.
Yeah. Yeah. It was next to your bed, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So he put one for you and one for me, and that was so strange. I thought.
Yeah.
I was really surprised about that. So that was the time. That is interesting. Ha.
What were you experiencing? Did you?
No, I was so out of it at that point. I was really out of it, but I knew there was something going on with you, and I think I remember now when you spoke about it that I was actually aware of it.
Oh, I see.
Even though I was, far out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there could be, nothing happens without a reason. Maybe that was also why you had the bed beside me. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. I find, once one thinks about things, why things happen and so on, I have found that I get all the answers. So that is why I went that way and not that way, things like that.
Because once you put the question out there, the answer comes back in some form, usually.
Yeah, and even if you don't put in a question out there, because you do have unconscious questions.
Yes.
Always in your mind, even if you are not aware of it, but you have decided to go on this path, then it will come to you. So, and I have done previously in my life to be more aware of the magic in life,
Yes. Yeah, I think it's really important to remember the magic and to have that,
so that I've done many years ago, and I've experienced it and practiced it and so on. So I'm very aware of those things.
Oh, I see.
Which is helping, it is helping you to stay sane and less depressed and in a good place, really.
Yeah.
Once you start seeing, the universe is working,
Yeah, exactly.
Everything.
Like the connection, like you were saying.
Everything,
everything's connected.
Yeah. And I suppose, since everything is connected also with the alien stuff and the serpent of light that is now in Peru. Yeah, it moved from Tibet to Peru.
Right, I heard it was there, yeah. It's interesting.
So, because, before ayahuasca, I told someone I would never, ever go to South America.
Oh,
because they were asking, well, have you ever been to South America? And I said, no, and I'm not going there. And I said, no, I have nothing there to do, like if I'm going somewhere, I'm going to, to the east.
Yeah.
But see what happened. So I followed from Tibet to Peru, which I would never have thought. But then again, I got my answers. Why did this happen? So So I have a lot of trust. I think in the process, that one is going through, and it is helping.
I think that's important, to trust the process. Yes.
Yeah. To trust.
Yeah.
Compassion. Trust.
Compassion. Yes.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Good words.
Good reminders. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So where are we? Oh dear, where are we now? That was.
Yes, the extraterrestrials. I mean, did you want to speak about anything else on the list that I had given you?
Well, they are quite deep questions.
Yeah,
I think the thought of dogma is quite interesting, actually, because and I was thinking about it before, and I think dogma is something. It's almost like a bad word these days. But I think dogma, in the sense of it being rules, it is a construction. You can't have a building without the pillars and the walls and the structure. So you need dogma, but dogma can also, of course, dogma can be bad. But I do believe one can't have any belief system or philosophical systems without any dogmas.
Yeah, it's a hard one to get. Yeah, I mean, if you follow a religious path.
Sometimes people say, I don't like religion, or I don't like the philosophy of this or that, because they have too many dogmas. They have too much dogmas.
Yeah.
But what they end up with is like the New Age.
Yes, but that's also dangerous.
Thing, which is very dangerous, because that is like, sailing without any sails. It's without any direction, nothing.
Well,
and it does. Yeah. It does not get you in a good place.
No. That can be quite dangerous. The New Age stuff, some of it,
Pardon?
The New Age stuff. It's essentially like a new religion as well. I see, like, some people get really. I mean, I don't subscribe to any religion. Because of like my belief on the dogma. So I think that it's really hard. I mean, I definitely value a lot of the things that some of the religions say, and like even to the point of some of the systems that they have within the religions. Like I appreciate meditation within Buddhism, and I definitely find value in that. But there are certain things that I don't agree with, like religion overall. I guess when you look at the bigger picture, how it's being utilized in politics and how
used. Yeah. No, it's true, and it's a shame that. But wherever there is a human being can be corrupted by ego and so on. So one always has to look within yourself and see where do I stand, because I mean the dogma may not have to be bad, but it's the person who is teaching it who is corrupted and wants to corrupt other people. and wants to maybe enslave them and use them for their own purposes, and wants to disempower them, make them weak and just like sheep. Yeah, I do understand that, but that is why it's so important that you look within yourself. So do not throw away the knowledge, or whatever. Like there are Buddhist lamas who are really corrupted.
Yeah,
it's in there too. But what they teach, if you know from the start what Buddhism is about, etc., then you know that what they teach is not wrong, because they're not stupid enough to teach the wrong things. In some religions or whatever, they do actually teach wrong things, but within Buddhism they wouldn't dare to do that, because everyone knows exactly, because those scriptures have not been changed. Not even one little point has been changed, just like the Torah in Judaism, the Kabbalah, but the person is not living accordingly to the teachings himself. You have to part them and see, the person you can dismiss, but not the system, the philosophical system. So you need to know what to throw out.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's quite difficult because there's so much. It's quite difficult to try and discern, or
it's not easy. But so again, if you meditate, you get a clear head.
Yeah, I think that's the most important.
Yeah, and you get wisdom through that, right? So. So we always come back to that point: compassion, wisdom, meditation, etc. So those are the good things to do, and will help you in so many ways.
Well, I think yes, because it's very important to be connected to oneself and not allow external influences affect so much, I guess, and to find what works for you, because everyone's different.
Exactly.
Everyone's
and actually you don't need, in a way, I suppose, if you have the right karmic constellation, you don't even need a guru. You can just sit and meditate. Some gurus actually have done that. They go out in the wilderness and they sit in a cave, and that's where they sit and meditate. And then when they are like 80 years old or so, they come out and they integrate with people and share their wisdom.
Yeah, I have heard about those type of gurus,
Yeah. So, but that is not for everyone. That is for a few handful, who have that kind of karma.
Yeah, everybody. Not everybody can have our life path. It can't be.
No, because we are on different levels again.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have different growths.
Yeah.
So, right. And that is said without any judgment.
No, of course not, because we're all the same at the end of the day, like you said.
Yes.
So there's no difference really.
Yeah.
Okay, Brigitte.
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Thank you too.
Yes. Thank you so much for your time and for agreeing, because I really appreciate you spending time and giving me all your energy for this interview.
No, it's been a pleasure, and I'm not a teacher, I'm not anybody, but I have contemplated a lot, and I do have some experience. And it is a shame not to talk about it. So I'm happy for the opportunity to have done that,
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, I'm not talking to you.
It's also, it's really great to talk to you. And I think that's also really therapeutic to externalize our processes as well, just to even talk about it. It's very therapeutic.
Yes. yeah, so any more questions, or if you want to, go with the other questions that are still left, whatever, just contact me,
Oh, yes, okay.
Not now. It's quite enough, I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, nearly 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. It's really good. Yeah.
Time.
It's a long time.
So let me know, or if you've anything, I will help you with it.
Yeah. Thank you so
Any
much.
thoughts?
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And let me know if I can help you in any way. But if you have like an email or something, I can leave on my website, I guess, when I post a video. If someone wants to contact you, like about your experiences
I'll
or something.
write it down in the chat.
Okay. In the where, sorry?
On Skype.
On Skype. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I can write it down there. Oh, or on Facebook also. Whatever.
Okay.
It's more suitable. Yeah.
All right, that works.
You will have my email. You will have my email.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. So good night.
Good night. Oh, good morning for you. Is it morning?
Good day.
Oh, good day. Enjoy your day then.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Sleep well.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. I think we have to switch off because I don't know how to do it.
Oh, no problem. I'll switch off, yes.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.